Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. My name is M.Sydney, and my religion lecturer sent me a couple of questions, and yet in this video I shall be answering them. So let us begin. For question 1, what impressions and important learnings did you get while studying courses in this semester? Well, the one thing I remember most relevant and important to my life is the importance of respect. My docent, Paparet, recounted a story when he was just a student like me, that he was extremely polite to his lecturers and teachers back in his day, and he always got good scores despite him thinking oh, I didn't do it well, but his lecturers gave him good scores in return because he respected them and he was so nice with them. So that was among the most important things that I learned, because it just goes to show, if you show respect towards someone else, you will get respect in return. So if you respect someone, they'll respect you. Question 2, what topics or discussions did you find are the most important during your lectures and are most relevant to your life? For me, is the concept of destiny and human dynamics in Islam. The concept of destiny, or qadar, emphasizes which belief God has preordained everything that happens in the universe according to his divine wisdom. This belief is relevant in daily life. It provides comfort and resilience in facing challenges. For example, I got caught with autoimmunity, SLE, or lupus as we call it here in Indonesia. I was going through heavy depression at the time, but through a few prayers, lots of prayers, I just faced faced those challenges head on, and that this is God's plan for me. I have a bigger purpose later in my life, and this is a challenge for him to test me. And by understanding destiny, it helps me navigate my life's uncertainties with the concepts of faith, acceptance, and the sense of purpose aligned with my actions, which are within God's intentions. Second of which is the meaning of prayers. Salat, or prayers in Islam, it's not just a factual ritual of worship, but it's basically a spiritual practice. Unlike Christians, or be it Protestants, Catholics, or Jews, we pray every day, 5 times a day, every day, 7 days a week, 12 months a year. It's not just an act of worship, it's a spiritual practice, fostering mindfulness, humility, and connection with Allah himself. In today's fast-paced world, it's often very stressful for us. Salat is a way to pause and reflect and seek one's spiritual rejuvenation multiple times in a day, and promotes inner peace and a sense of self-discipline. It helps us Muslims maintain a balance and spiritual fulfilling in life amidst daily challenges or distractions. Question 3, what topics or discussions did you find least important during the lectures in this semester? Personally, the concept of eschatology in Islam I find most relevant, as to many prioritize present-day concerns and practical matters over speculative or theological considerations about the afterlife and end of times. They may view ethology as less directive, impacting on their day-to-day existence compared to the more immediate spiritual practices or ethical concerns. And besides that, I also found the Family Foundation Islam less relevant to me, because as it provides basically just a framework for fostering a strong relationship, and basically saying this it's sort of just an outline of how you should build a family in the traditional Islamic way. But for me, I see making a family more different, the framework for a good family, more differently than others. Number 4, in my opinion, what is the reason to fast? The basic scriptures and the social messaging as well as ecological messaging to fast? Well, in the main reason, it's more than just refraining from eating and drinking. It's a way to learn self-control. It's like it's not just eating and drinking that we're forbidden for. We are forbidden from cursing, touching dirty things, sexual practices, that kind of stuff. So it's a way to develop self-control for us Muslims, and it helps us develop willpower and resistance. And it also is a way, a period in general for us to meditate and reflect on our lives, and it helps us remind us how fortunate we are. The basic scriptures of fasting is that the in the Surat Al-Baqarah verse 183, which means, "O you who believe in fasting is enjoined as you as it was enjoined to those before you, so have you become pious." And there's commandment and the third pillar of Islam, that fasting during the month of Ramadan. That's basically among the importance why we Muslims fast in the first place. The social messaging when it comes, and especially ecological messaging when it comes to fasting, it promotes mindful consumption, can reduce waste, and encourage a more sustainable life. And for ecological way, it can lead to low resources use, contributing to environmental conservation, because we're not eating as much, so we're not taking as many things out from the ground or from our life on earth as meat for us to eat. It's also socially, it's a way that we can understand what others less fortunate than us are feeling, because while in these days we can eat, most of us, we can eat on a daily basis, there are some who are less fortunate than us. So fasting helps us understand what are they going through. Fifth is the teachings of zakat, or giving charity to others. This is another one of our main pillars in our religion. In the basic teachings of this in the Quran, Surat Al-Baqarah, verse 276, quote, "Allah destroys interest and gives for charity, and Allah does not like every sinning disbeliever." So this emphasized the significance of zakat. By giving zakat as Muslims, basically our cleansing. As it says also in Surat At-Tabwa, verse 103, "O Muhammad, from their wealth a charity which you purify them, cause them increase, and invoke Allah's blessing upon them. Indeed, your invocations are reassured for them, and Allah is hearing and knowing." This verse basically says that zakat does not diminishes one's wealth, but rather increases it in blessings and rewards from Allah. And along with this question, there is to explain the relationship between this teaching of charity and indebtedness to others. So, in my opinion, when we give zakat or charity, because they're already recommended in the Quran and Hadith, Allah commands us to help our brothers and sisters who are in need. And if we give our wealth in the form of zakats or other types of charities with sincerity, without expecting anything in return, or the depth of gratitude, then Allah will replace our wealth many times over in a way that we did not expect. So the relationship is like it's basically God's depth to God's favor. So by giving charity to those less fortunate, it's seen as owing our debt to God, basically. Last one is among last is family institutions. Do you support child freedom? I do support it because it's personal autonomy. It allows us as individuals to can to make our own life decisions. Basically, we can choose our choices on our own, not have an individual autonomy and lifestyle preferences, and it allows us as individuals or couples to prioritize our own goals, careers, hobbies, and personal development without the responsibility and demands of parenting. And why do I support it? It's like it's basically a value of personal choice, highlighting that the strength of family values lies in fostering love, respect, and support within all types of relationships, whether it's children or not. Each individual or couple should have the freedom to define their own path to fulfillment and happiness. Last thing of which is what criticisms and inputs are most important to conveying the important future courses. That would be simply be more collaborations between the lecturers and the students, as by having more interactions between lecturers or students, it can increase the amount of interactivity between the classes, so it doesn't drag out for so long and students aren't bored. Well, those are my answers, and before I finish, I'd like to personally thank my my religion docent, Papa Riet. Thank you so much for this past 6 months of you teaching me. It's been real fun, and maybe we'll see each other around the campus one day. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.